Welcome to Baseball Night. I'm your host, Tom Brown, joined as always by my brother, Jack. Jack, we are recording very special day. It's Leap Day.
Happy Leap Day.
Apologies if you hear a very angry dog in my microphone. But Jack, we're going to talk baseball again because that's what we do on this show. And what we want to start with is we like to start with the Red Sox because that's our
Yep.
team. Go Sox. And a funny thing happened this week. Peter Gammons tweeted that he heard from an NL executive that it seems like the Red Sox are the front runners for Jordan Montgomery. His wife is she interning at one of the Massachusetts hospitals? Isn't that it? Something like that?
I'm not 100% sure.
Something like that's going on, and he's here. He's around. So I guess he's just like, yeah, I guess I'll play for the Red Sox. She has to do her schooling or residency, whatever it is. And then people started asking the Red Sox about this. So what's going on with Montgomery? And they had a Zoom meeting with him that went well before spring training. We're 2 weeks into spring training now. What's going on?
Well, you're asking the wrong guy. And unfortunately for my man Pete Gammo, I think all baseball writers are the wrong guy right now because nobody knows what baseball players are doing except for the baseball players. And it goes back to when Ohtani was on that plane. Like I don't necessarily know that a productive Zoom meeting is a reportable news story.
Yeah, and they asked Cora, and he was just like, yeah, we met with him. It was good, but it was before spring training. Like,
Yeah, when you said he's around, he's in Boston, like the Red Sox aren't in Boston right now. They're
no,
in Fort
nope.
Myers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
Um,
mean, I know
it,
we're kind of gonna talk about MLB free agency in a second, but it's not like this in baseball to have so many players still without a team this far into spring training already. This is an NFL thing. This is like a training camp, sitting out a training camp or waiting to join the team in training camp. This normally doesn't happen in spring training.
I wonder if some of Boris's clients are going to be like, I don't want to do this again. Like, I don't want to do what Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery went through. So they're still
Yeah.
sitting there, not getting work and not pitching in spring training games. I mean, how many of the Red Sox had? Like eight,
Yeah.
something like that. And these are all starts that Snell and Montgomery are missing. So I really wonder if this whole super agent Boris hold out for the best offer. Obviously, that's what you're going to do. But the landscape's changed. It's not. I mean, Shohei Ohtani signed. The domino should have just fell after that.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it took as long. I mean, nobody even knows where Blake Snell is like blowing or where that like who has the inside track there. That's crazy. People say Montgomery is going to come to Boston, but it's all circumstantial. Like there's nothing firm other than they had a good Zoom meeting, which I bet he had with five other teams in baseball.
Yeah, for Snell, I've heard Giants and Yankees, but honestly, all off season, I've heard Giants and Yankees for just about every top or free agent. That's
Yeah,
just kind of how it goes. Big market
sure.
teams get tied to someone, especially the Yankees.
Man, there used to be a day, Tom. There used to be a day where the Red Sox were tied to those same people. But now it's just in on them. Showed interest.
So the Montgomery thing is what it is, and he's a pitcher that will get you 180 innings. So if they sign him, I'm not going to be like jumping up and down. Ironically enough, like I was when they traded for Chris Sale, I was stoked about that.
Yeah, we touched
Um,
on that in the group chat. We don't wish ill on any player here on the Never Wars podcast. Maybe with the exception of Gerkel. But we celebrated that trade.
oh,
And
I was
I'm
talking about
more
when they got him in 2016. I was stoked.
oh yeah, oh, of course. Yeah. I was
You
talking about
know,
when they just traded him for Von Grissom this winter.
yeah. Uh, but Montgomery would be someone that's gonna go out there. He's going to give you 6, maybe 7, and you know it. They were 27th in innings pitched last year. So something like that out of the starting pitchers, something like that, I'm happy with.
I I agree. I think, in a I mean, I think that if you have a stacked rotation of guys you can pick from of anybody, I think Jordan Montgomery slots into a 3 or 4 guy. Like, he's not a top tier starter. He made himself a lot of money because he was nails in the playoffs last year. Um,
But look
I
what
don't
the
know.
Rangers expected out of him to be behind DeGrom and Evaldi. That's
Yeah, exactly. Well, DeGrom was already
I
down at that point in the season at the trade deadline when
oh
they got
yeah,
him because
they
he
traded
started
for
for
him.
the
You're right.
Cardinals. Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
But I
But they
mean,
didn't they had Evaldi. They had their game 1 and game 7 guy.
yeah.
Like that you would slate for that. And then they got Scherzer. So they were looking at him as a 3, I guess, because they got
Yeah,
him in
they were.
Scherzer.
He balled out in the playoffs. I mean, he pitched his ass off and he made himself
Yeah.
a lot of money. Um, that does, if I can put myself in Sam Kennedy's shoes, I would say that they would sell that as fixing a need, as really addressing their top need. And he would call him a frontline starter. I think Jordan Montgomery's good. If they do sign Jordan Montgomery, they have not yet. Um, I'll be excited to watch him pitch. I'll be excited to watch him eat innings, but he lives around 3.54 ERA. He's a solid major league pitcher. I don't think he's an all-star. I don't think he's a number one starter. But he is clutch. So the Red Sox, unfortunately, in the past have extended people and offered contracts based on playoff performance. You need to get there first before you start worrying about how a guy's going to play in October.
Yeah. Montgomery last year was 10-11, but 188 innings, a 3.2 ERA. You know, but then, like you said, stepped it up. His ERA went down to 2.9 in the playoffs. He only struck out 5, rounding up 5 guys per 9 innings. But
Well,
what
that's the
was
other thing. If
his?
he's going to get big money and you're expecting a power pitcher, that's not what you're going to see. You're a pitch to
No,
contact guy.
he's a 7 strikeout per 9 guy.
Yeah, and I mean, very solid, but
Yeah,
a lot of things worry me there. I mean, changing to that park, having all your games there, and I know we can get into the fielding independent pitching versus wins debate, and I err on the side of FIP. However, 10 and 11 under 500 win percentage, that says something to me. I know there are other factors that go into winning a game, but man, if you're a front of the line starter, I mean, when's the last time Garrett Cole has gone 500? It doesn't happen. He puts his team in the best position to win.
yeah, yeah. But I'm just in my mind at this point. It's not like the Patriots this year where at a certain point around Halloween, I was like, stop winning. Stop winning. That doesn't work out in baseball as much because you could get, I mean, Jackson Holiday is going to spend what, a year and a half, 2.5 years in the minors. That's different. Kid's a freak. And I think his brother might be the first round pick this year, but it's rare that you get that first round, first overall pick, like Harper, Trout, those type of guys.
Trout was not a number one
Oh, he
overall
was
pick.
1-9. He went ninth, I think, right?
9 through
Maybe even
12, yeah.
later. And but those guys that speed through the minors, and you're like, we got to get this kid up when he's 19.
Yeah.
So I want them to. I want to watch competitive games. So if that means 30 starts from Jordan Montgomery, fine. I mean,
I agree with that. If he's going to be a consistent pitcher all year and live at 3.2, that's going to be a
yeah.
great addition to the team.
The problem is is that 3-2, you're going into the American League East. So
and Fenway Park, which is a very
you're
hitter-friendly
probably
ballpark.
pushing it closer to 4.
Yeah,
But
I mean that's why
it's,
then, and that's why I said 3.5 and 4 is. I don't know what his career ERA is, but I would imagine it's right between there.
I got it right here. Career ERA 3.68,
There you go.
which is really good.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Um,
And the
so
Yankees released him, so maybe he has that added FU to
mhm.
get back at them. I like that attitude.
Yeah, the concerning thing is the early part of his career, he was hurt. 18, 19, he was hurt.
Mm.
So, otherwise, spring training updates. Uh, the Tyler O'Neill has some gigantic arms. Rafael Devers crushes the ball. I was watching a game and he smoked one opposite field over the Florida Monster. It was great.
Yeah, he looks like he's swinging hot early. He looks ready to hit this year.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean I haven't seen anything that's really jumping off other than that. It doesn't look like, with the exception of like Tyler O'Neill and some of the new guys that they've added. It looks like Casas made a transformation body wise. He got a little leaner and a little stronger, it looks like.
But they
But it
haven't
doesn't.
played him once yet this year.
No, but I've been watching videos of them
No,
all.
no, I know, but it's
Yeah.
strange that they're like a week in and
Yeah. Yeah, that is
take it
weird.
slow,
They're
whatever.
phasing them in. Yeah. I mean, today, unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's available to watch, but Roman
Hey,
Anthony's starting in center.
MLB, just MLB, fix your app. I've tried to turn off game alerts on the app for the Red Sox, and I've done it 5 times and it won't turn off. But I will tell you, Trevor Story and Rafael Devers have made it a 2-0 lead in the first inning.
Yeah.
I don't need
There's a
that.
lot. If we're talking about things MLB needs to fix, maybe just fix your licensing and your blackouts in your communities.
Well, that's it. Until the regional sports networks get all bought up by Amazon, I don't think that's going to happen.
Starting, they just bought Bally's.
I know.
28
Which does
professional
that just
sports
mean I
teams
can
now on
watch
Prime.
Padres
Yep,
games on Prime?
that's exactly what that means.
Well,
Unless they do
hello.
something with the market, but
Yeah. Uh
we're MLB.TV subscribers anyways.
yeah, of course. Um Other than that, Jack, no Red Sox news. It's been quiet.
I mean, there is sad Red Sox news.
Yeah, Tim Wakefield's wife died, and it's just so incredibly sad.
Mm,
And I remember when Kurt Schilling said his shithead thing, he mentioned her, but it's private, so we don't know the updates because
right.
they wanted it private. The keyword being private that it didn't get to be. And then she passed away. Was it Wednesday? Yesterday?
I think it was yesterday, yeah.
Yeah. Just God, they have kids. It's just terrible.
Yeah, it's really bad. Really sad.
Uh, I actually wasn't even gonna mention that because I was like, this is just bummer news, and now we
Yeah.
just have to transition to free agent signings. But I guess we will soldier on. The A big name, Cody Bellinger, re-signed with the Cubs. 3-year deal, but he has an opt out after the first 2 years, so he can just opt out this next offseason.
Smart little 1 year contract he kept signing himself.
It's Who did that? Is that what Durant did with the Warriors, and then LeBron did
Um,
with the Cavs the second go round? It just was 1-year deals over and over.
I don't remember.
I think that's what they did. Um, Bellinger's good. He's not quite comparable to those two in his sport, although he does have an MVP in a World Series.
And a rookie of the year. I mean, he's a
Yeah.
very good player. He's a
Yeah,
very good player.
he found himself again last year, and it was cool because it made the NL wild card race fun.
I
Um,
mean, he went from his MVP year 305 with 47 homers and 115 driven in to 239, 165, 210. Like he
Right.
fell off hard after that MVP season. Granted, one of those years was COVID. The next year he only played 95 games, and that was when he hit 165. He did not have a good season. And then he really found it again last year with the Cubs. Where is his homers? 26 homers, 97 runs batted in, and a 307 batting average. And I know we
No, it's
didn't.
in. Go ahead.
I was going to say I know we already covered the NL Central in our preview, but I think this throws the Cubs right back into the mix.
Well, yeah, you got your three hitter. Um,
And a center fielder.
yep. Now, what's crazy when you look at it, he struck out 16% of the time, 17% of the time. And then those 2 years where he was 165 and 260, or yeah, and 210, 26% of the time,
Oof.
27% of the time. And last year he cut it back down to 15% strikeout.
Yeah,
Plus
he found
his
it, man.
isolated power, which is slugging minus batting average. His MVP year was 324. I mean, two something is good. 324 is like unheard of.
Yeah, he was smashing. Dude, 47 homers at Dodger Stadium is hard to do.
Yeah. Um, but he's back and it just solidifies the Cubs. I'm sure they're stoked.
Yeah.
I
Again,
don't
but
know.
it's weird that it took 2 weeks into training camp or spring training where he's like, all right, well, I guess I should go play baseball soon.
Yeah. So just for context, 324 isolated slugging or isolated power is, well, I guess you can't, I shouldn't have pulled up Barry Bonds' page, but it's also like the same as 1998 Barry Bonds, which isn't the peak. Barry Bonds in Jesus Christ in 2001 had a 536. This guy, I his page. You can't look at his baseball reference page or his Fangraphs page because it breaks your brain. It doesn't make sense. Uh moving on. The Dodgers, Jack's West Coast favorite team, big market guy like that Jack is, traded Manuel Margot to the Twins, but they just got him in the Glassnow trade to make
Why,
room
Tom?
for Jack's favorite player, Kike Hernandez. Now
You know what,
this
man? Go ahead. Sorry.
threw our collective baseball brains in our group baseball group chat into a pretzel. We get he can stand at multiple positions on the field. But I don't know how can you say he's better than Margot?
I don't know.
I mentioned it with
I
Kike
don't.
Hernandez, right? I said his name.
Yeah, I think so. I don't.
Okay.
I don't know.
Like Manuel Margot last year, 264, 310, 376. He only hit 4 home runs. I mean, he's not lighting the world on fire. His career high is 13 home runs. But I don't get it. I don't get
Um,
the Dodgers' infatuation with Kike. They didn't sign him, then they traded for him and then re-signed him.
mhm. I mean, he hit 260 last year, which was 40 points higher than he had in Boston. Um, I maybe he likes playing out there. Maybe I mean he's gonna say like he's a marketable guy, but I mean they have Otani and Yamamoto. They don't really need to worry about marketable
And Mookie
players.
Betts and Freddie Freeman.
I don't know. He's not the same caliber of player of those four. Um, and I've said all I need to say about Kike Hernandez on this wonderful show. And let's just
Yeah.
not clog up the airwaves any
It
longer.
was just one of those things where we were like, what is going on? What am I missing? He's also Margot, by
I
the way,
think
is
that
also
was
2 years younger.
I think that was my word for word reaction. Was what am I missing here?
Eh, That's
The
it. That's
clear,
all the
I get it.
moves.
I get signing a dude. I get signing a dude. I don't understand moving somebody to create a roster spot for that dude.
Um, Moves wise, it's slow. Everything is minor league contract, minor league contract, minor league contract. Um, Brandon Crawford, longtime Giant, is now with the Cardinals. He signed a 1 year deal with them. But I mean, Cody Bellinger is the biggest move in a while.
Yeah.
Gio
Yeah, it was
Urshela.
a slow for as big of names that were out there. It was a pretty slow offseason and boring and kind of predictable.
Oh
Although you
God.
still have two very good pitchers out there.
Well, isn't there a fourth? Oh, Matt Chapman is the fourth. Well, now that Bellinger's off the board, the third Boris guy that's still out there.
Which is strange because of how well he catches a baseball.
It's also strange that last year's NL Cy Young winner hasn't been signed. Snell was awesome, but also he has that award now in 2 leagues,
Yep, he sure does.
right? He won it in the AL, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He's a
So
two-time Cy Young winner.
I damn, he went 21-5 in 2018. Probably got
Yeah.
caught up in the Red Sox tearing through the league. That's I guess what we can do now is just move on to our preview segment of the AL Central.
Yeah.
And what we like to do is go worst to first on the projections. Now, again, these are projections. There's a lot of math involved.
Not
We're
our
not too
projections, too.
we're not too keen um, on the math, but though
I mean, we're
everyone,
starting with statistically the third worst team in baseball to these projections.
yes, um, and honestly, I man, could they be worse than the Athletics? Is my question to
No,
you. The
no.
Chicago White Sox are projected for less wins.
Okay. They're not worse than the Athletics.
Oh, Pacoda has them at 2 more wins than the Athletics.
They have Dylan Cease, Luis Robert. I mean, he's past his prime, but Andrew Benintendi is there. Andrew Vaughn at first is an exciting player. Yohan Moncada is an all-star. I mean, they have players. They're not, even if they are statistic or record wise worse than the Athletic A's, they're not worse. They're certainly not worse off. There's a future here. They can move some of these guys.
Well, that's the question. So the White Sox, let's start with what they did in the offseason. And they um add in Martin Maldonado. That's Paul DeYoung, Chris Flexen.
Hmm.
Then they lost Elvis Andrus. You mentioned it. They have about 4 guys.
Exciting guys.
Yeah, but Robert's hurt often, but when he plays, he's like an MVP caliber guy.
Mm-hmm. Mike
So
Trout once
here,
said, "When I grow up, I want to be Luis Robert." Tongue in cheek because Mike Trout is older, but he does like the player. I mean, 2023 last year, he did hit 38 home runs and drive in only 80. Holy shit. Think of that for a second.
yeah,
38 homers and 80 RBIs. Guy's got to
that's
get on base for the guy.
that's what I mean.
I didn't
So
realize it was that much of a split. That's almost
the other
2-1.
thing about Robert is in his career, he's played 68, 98, and then last year he played 145 games. So there's injury
Yeah, he's
risk.
staying on the field. Yeah, exactly.
Moncada's been hurt and just in general hasn't turned out to be the prospect he was with the Red Sox.
That
2019,
was
he had a really
the
good year.
that was the Chris Sale, right? He
Yeah.
was the headline in the Chris Sale deal. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they were so exciting in like 2019. Robert was on, he wasn't up yet, but he was in the wings. They had Jose Abreu. Um, who's the left fielder I'm blanking on? Uh,
I think I might be
uh,
blanking on him too.
okay. Well, luckily we have the wonderful people over at Fangraphs. Oh, it's Andrew Benintendi now. Who am I think? Who was it?
That's who I'm
Well,
blanking on.
it doesn't matter because I'm blanking on him.
Maglio Ordonez.
Yes, that is who it was.
Eloy Jimenez.
Eloy Jimenez. Got it. Where is he? He's still there. Oh, they have him at DH. That's why. They didn't have
He's got
okay.
power.
That
He's got
makes
some raw power.
Yeah. He's he's your classic actually, I mean,
They got the
he,
Moose in there, Mustakis.
yeah, they're gonna be bad. We don't need to keep spending time on them. They're not gonna be good.
Yeah,
Dylan
they're not
Cease
going to
will
be
probably
bad.
get traded.
Dylan Cease should get traded, possibly immediately to the Red Sox. Just throw that out in the world. He's hit one year on his contract left. Arbitration eligible, obviously, so he's still controllable. Let's get that done. Speak that into existence.
Yeah. I would not hate that. Figure out what's going on
All right,
with
let's
his
go. Oh, you know what,
pitches.
Tom? You're right. Let's move right on because
Here we go. This is the one I've been waiting all week for.
I don't know why the Royals are projected to be fourth.
I don't either.
I liked all their moves. Michael Wacha has just been so solid for the last couple years.
Yeah, yeah.
He has. He's been. I
I
didn't say he's
I
been great. I said he's been
I said
solid.
I said yeah.
Your yeah wasn't enthusiastic though. You were like, nah, yeah. Will Smith he's been on the last 4 World Series winners, hasn't he? 3 or 4. So boom, place your bets. If you're a bettor, place your bets on the Royals winning the World Series. Will Smith. Will Smith boost. Um, they. Oh God, I really thought they signed more people, but they have a guy who, I mean, in terms of something we're going to be doing tomorrow, fantasy baseball, who's going like second overall.
First off, I got to block that off my calendar for work. That's a good reminder right there.
Bobby Witt
Yeah.
Jr. is. I said this
I
about
mean,
Julio Rodriguez last week. Top 5, maybe top 10 most exciting player to watch.
he is without a doubt my top exciting player to watch. Like this
Wow.
year, going into this year, I am more excited about watching him play than any other player. That's your Otani's. I'm pretty pumped to see Yamamoto pitch, but I would say Bobby Witt Jr. is hands down who I'm most excited about, and followed very closely by his teammate Cole Reagans.
Yeah.
Oh baby, am I
I
fired
heard
up
I
about Cole Reagans?
I was listening to a podcast and the 2 guys on it were pissed that um Cole Reagan's start for spring training wasn't televised.
Yeah, that sucks.
He's thrown 101 in spring training.
Oh
Not
man,
easing into it.
no. I mean, he came on pretty big at the end of last year, just catching fire. I think he got hurt. Um, but in his starts, wait, yeah, he made 7 starts. Where are they
No,
combined?
12 starts
All right,
last
sorry.
year.
12
For
starts there.
12 total, sorry.
All right, and he had where I'm used to looking at 3.47 ERA, and he is going into his age 26 season. He throws really hard. He was drafted by Texas. They traded him. He's a 6'4" hard throwing lefty. I mean, who looks like he's about to explode. I mean, in some of his projection, his prospect report, oh, that's never mind. That's from years ago. But he has A+ stuff, and I can't wait to watch him pitch all year. I hope he stays healthy all year.
Every projection on Fangraphs, whether it's Zips, the bat, Steamer, all of them, the lowest strikeouts per 9 they're giving him is 9.
Yeah,
He's
that means
just a
he's going to strike out a
flamethrower.
guy an inning. Yeah, and he's got nasty secondary stuff.
Well, if you just know if you know how to throw a decent slider and you throw 101, forget about it.
So between those two players, I'll be watching a lot of Kansas City Royals games. And we didn't even really get in to Bobby Witt Jr. But if for those of you who don't know, he is a shortstop. He was a former number 1 overall pick. His
dad
dad,
was a
Bobby Witt.
pitcher.
Yep, played. And in the offseason, actually a few weeks ago, he signed an 11-year, $288 million extension to stay with the Royals.
The first contract ever given out by the Royals that was 9 figures.
That's impressive. Sal Perez
but
is like, what else do I
also
have to
he
do?
is the second ever player to have 20 steals and 20 home runs in his first 2 seasons. I think the first one was Julio Rodriguez, if I'm not
That's
mistaken.
correct.
It's
Yep.
only been those 2 guys. He exploded last year. 276, 319, 495, 49 steals, 30 home runs. So he was 30-30 last year.
Only Kansas City Royals ever got 30-30.
God, his ISO was 218. God, you knew he was good, and then you look at the stats and you're like, wow, he was really good.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch him. And as Tom said, I mean, he's going pretty damn high in fantasy. He's going to
Yeah,
explode.
I think he's like close to a consensus number 2 pick.
It's tough to say that he's going to explode when he had a 30-30 season last year. But I still don't think he's as good as he's going to be.
Yeah. So
Because
the
he's
issue
23.
is it's really behind Cole Reagans for this team. Brady Singer just isn't it.
No, he's been touted for a while.
He's just, let's see. He had a 5.52 ERA last year. Walked almost 3 guys per 9, struck out 7, let up a homer per 9. It's just one of those things. It happens. He was a first round pick, and he's only 27 though, so maybe he figures out like what pitches work for him.
Yeah.
So,
and they always say that he's a first round pick too, and they always say that sometimes if you get drafted in the first round, no matter how the pro career is shaping up, you get more opportunities. So he's still getting there. I mean, he's going to be the number 2 starter for this team, and if he stays healthy and maybe he's got something this year. Again, I mean, all it takes in baseball, Tom, is momentum. You get hot for a month or 2, and it can carry you.
yeah. Yeah, so they are projected right now for 75 wins.
So I mean, that's to explain why they're 4th here. I mean, that is a separation from the Twins on Fangraph of only 10 games, and it looks like everybody's going to be tight in here. I mean, the Twins are good. They were the team that won last year, but I don't know that anybody else in this division is head and shoulders above the other teams.
Yeah, great segue into the next team. What am I missing with the Tigers? Because right now this is their outfielders, Mark Canna. Is this guy Parker Meadows? Oh no. I shut every
Hit
window.
them.
I X'd out of my browser. That's
Oh,
heartbreaking.
goodness. And
Oh,
Riley
oh,
Green. Riley
recently
Green's an
closed.
exciting player.
Restore all tabs, Jack. You know, they think of everything. Remember when you used to not save your report and it Microsoft Word shut and it was gone?
Mm-hmm.
And the three you wrote. Riley Green is exciting, but Gio Urshela, Javi Baez, Colt Keith, Spencer Torkelson. So let's talk about Torque.
Yeah, he's a former #1 guy.
He was a 1-1 overall.
Sure was.
Last year, 233, 31 homers, 88 RBI, 25 struck out 25% of the time. But he's going into his age 24 season.
Yeah. So there's some stuff to improve. I mean, you gotta like the power numbers.
Yeah.
You have to. I mean, 31
Yeah.
and 94 driven in. That's huge. 9%, well, that's rounding down. 10% walk rate, 25% strikeout rate. Got to be a little bit more patient in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I like Torkelson. I like the Tigers too. I mean, I really like Riley Green. Um, but boy, that's about it, isn't it? Because once you get to the guys toeing the rubber, other than Jack Flats, who I guess I don't know, Tom, is he on the same Brady Singer type level? He's a year older. He did have a couple of good seasons. But I don't know. I don't see anything here. Geez, his ERA is what? 4.99 last year. 27 starts with a 5 ERA. That's their #2 right now behind Tarek Skubal.
But Scooball is awesome when he's healthy.
Yeah, he's good. I
He
mean,
is
11 and a half strikeouts per nine is pretty dominant stuff.
280
280 ERA.
But 15 starts, 80 innings.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
So when he pitches, he's really good, or at
He
least
is.
was last year. So this is what I mean. I don't know why they are projected to have 5 more wins than the Royals.
Yeah. I mean, that's
And
again,
they
this
spent money too.
yeah.
They the Baez thing's looking bad.
It is.
They lost Lucas Giolito.
Cabrera.
They lost Miguel Cabrera. But he was,
He was on
he's
the back end of that career. He was chasing 3,000 hits, is what
he
he
was
was
on
doing. If we can
he
be
was on the
perfectly
back
honest,
18 of his career.
back nine.
No, he played a second round and he wanted to do 36.
He stuck around and he said, "Yeah, he got out of 18. He said, I could do 36 today."
Yeah, and then but he was drinking the first 18. Actually, that's a bad joke because I think he had a drinking problem.
He does.
Bad joke. Not going to take it out. That's too much editing. But apologies. Yeah, they're just I don't know. There are just some teams that don't do it for me. And the Tigers are one of them.
Can't argue with your gut, man.
Yeah. So we're going to move on to the Guardians. And they are projected to win a total of 76 games. Oh, wait. Nope. 79. They lost Terry Francona. That was the biggest loss for them. Oh, wait.
They didn't get
Sorry. I was
anybody.
looking at the Guardians when oh, you know what? I copied the same team twice on this sheet.
Goodness gracious, Tom.
Well, Jack, when you're doing everything for the team, sometimes
Is that right? Well, I got
right.
you here. They got Cole Calhoun.
Oh, so it was right for them. I was wrong on the
Or no,
Tigers.
maybe he left. Yeah, he left. And then they got Austin Hedges and Ben Lively.
Yeah. They're a weird team. Their owner doesn't like to spend money. Um,
I can't look at this team with besides Jose Ramirez, who's just always going to do it. He's just always going to give you what he needs to give you. And maybe Beebs and see anything else. I like Stephen Kwan. He's a very good contact hitter, but I mean, that's
glove
it.
first
He's a
guys.
good fielder.
They have two glove first guys in left and center field.
And at second base.
Yep. The
That's the
Naylor
platinum glove
brothers.
winner. Jimenez is the platinum glove winner this past season, I believe. That's second. Well, in the major leagues, but I believe he won the platinum glove.
Bo and Josh Naylor are there. Josh will be the DH and Bo will be the catcher. They got one of the best closers in baseball.
They
So
do.
if you can
Wow, is he
get
nasty?
there,
Oh my
they have
goodness, is
Tanner
Emmanuel Clase nasty?
Bybee, who came up, did pretty well in his 25 starts as a
Is
rookie
it
last
Bybee or
year.
BB?
I don't know. I always thought Bybee.
Hmm.
But he had basically 9 strikeouts per nine, 2.98 ERA. Pretty good.
Yeah. Um, they have that's about it. I mean, I don't see I see this is what I mean. I don't know what goes into these projections, but looking at this, I mean, Shane Bieber did win a Cy Young, and they have Jose Ramirez, who is an annual All-Star. And even for a little bit, Naylor came on a little bit last year, and he'll be a great DH there. I think he'll hit a lot of home runs. He reminds me a lot of Kyle Schwarber. I don't think this team is better than the Royals, and I also don't think they're better than the Tigers.
Yeah,
I think in years past, you had a Terry Francona factor.
Guy knows the right moves to play sometimes.
yeah. And honestly, I think I don't know. I feel like Shane Bieber's just not the same guy as he was.
I don't. Yeah, I would say that. Tristan McKenzie is on the upside swing. I think in that rotation, they still have Carlos Carrasco. That's crazy. I didn't think they still had him. I mean, they could always compete. They always seem to be right there. But yeah, their outfield is not going to let a whole lot of balls drop, and
But they're not going to be able to match power.
no. And I think that I mean this and the White Sox, I would say the Twins are better than, like substantially better than.
Well, this just makes me think, moving on to the Twins, that the Twins will just kind of they'll win this by like 6 games.
Oh, you think they'll coast into it?
Yeah. Again, another guy that's just out there that I wish would just be healthy for an entire year is Byron Buxton.
Yep.
But the Twins they have Correa, they have Buxton, Kepler's fine, Carlos Santana, Royce Lewis
Yeah.
he was Roy Hobbs in the playoffs.
Royce Lewis understood the assignment in the playoffs, and he just crushed.
Pablo Lopez, Joe Ryan, Bailey
Give me that.
Ober.
Give me that one too of Pablo Lopez and Joe Ryan. I'd love that one too. And
And
want to talk about closers with nasty stuff?
yeah.
Johan Duran threw, according to Pitching Ninja, I think 3 of the 5 nastiest pitches not thrown by Kodai Senga all year last year. Just 102 with like 18 inches of movement.
He throws like a 97-mile-an-hour splitter.
I think it's faster than that.
It could be, yeah. That it's just. Also, if you're listening, just take your time take some time to just Google Johan Duran Undertaker entrance, because it's the Undertaker bell tolls, and then it's just a fire Latin pop song, which I think just sings about fire. It's awesome. It's so I would say, you know what, you can just count me as an out. No reason to go up against this.
He did. I remember last year when he was in the middle of that filth. I don't know if it was before or after the All-Star break, but Casas took him right into the left center gap and got a double off of like 103 inside. Oh, that was nice to see.
That was awesome. Bill Burr was calling the game, and he was like, "Get down!"
Oh, that's right.
It was the best. Uh, yeah, I just
Eduardo
feel like
Julian is here. They
yeah,
got
that's the best team in the Central.
yeah, and they got Manny Margot to be their fourth outfielder
It's actually
because
crazy. They're only 84 to 87 wins based off projection because the other teams don't look great at all.
yeah, but Tom, you got to remember, like, this will be the second year that you're not playing in your division. You're not playing these teams 19 times. You're playing
Yeah,
everybody. So
yeah.
they have
You
to play. They have to
still get
play
like
everybody.
14 against the White Sox.
Yeah, maybe a couple of those are against Dylan Cease. You know, that's how it
Yeah.
happens.
Uh,
So they're
yeah.
they're good. I mean, I know we haven't, and it's I should have called this out earlier because we haven't been doing it, but we should really get to. I mean, we could do it for right before, um, the season starts and gives our division winners, but at the time, I think we should be picking a division winner. But I agree here that this is the class of the division by a mile.
Yeah, well, we're gonna do our big preview pod where we do our predictions right before the
Right.
season.
Programming
That's what we
note.
do. That's it. I really hope Buxton stays healthy because when he plays, it's like statistically not even a lie to say that he's a top like 5 player. It's not just like my eyes are saying it. When he plays, it backs it up. He's so
Yeah.
good, but he's
He's had
always hurt.
seasons, yeah, wiped out by like, I mean, this is going to make you really sad. Since 2018, 28 games played, 87 games played, 39 COVID season, 61, 92, 85. Only once in his career, 2017, has he played more than 100 games.
And in 2022, when he played 92 games, he had 28 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
That's, if
And
I'm
he's
not
had a lot
mistaken,
of those seasons that he started in April absolutely red hot.
yeah. Yeah, I remember a couple years ago, it might have been 2022. I'm not sure. He
Well, that would be a
played,
couple of years ago.
yes, but the Twins were playing the Patriots Day morning game against the Red Sox, and he hurt his knee going into second and slammed his helmet down, like frustrated
Yeah.
because he just got hurt again.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I think they're the class, and they'll
they
win
have this
another.
division is chock full of 1-1s. Bobby Witt, Torkelson, Royce Lewis. Man, they have everybody.
Buxton's a 1-2. That's because the Central
They
divisions
stink.
aren't good.
They
They're
stink.
always they're there's both Central divisions. I don't know. Maybe it's just
Cardinals are good sometimes.
yeah, but I'm just saying this year they're very plain.
It was
Nothing
like
to
that
get.
last year too.
Yeah. It's just strange because Chicago is like the third biggest market in America. And the Cubs do what they can. They spend, they do well, but Jerry Reinsdorf doesn't pay money. I'm so
And he's
sick of
bet
billionaires that don't want to pay money for
well,
their
not only that,
assets.
he just moved his GM, who was the longest tenured GM in baseball, to the assistant GM, who was the longest tenured assistant GM in baseball. So, and they're all Reinsdorf's buddies.
He's also the guy that chose his GM over Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That he owns the Bulls too, and it's just that's the guy you don't choose against, you don't pick against in the
No,
history of sports. Like
it's true of anything, really.
it's actually happened twice to the greatest players in respective sports where the owner picked Jerry Krause over Michael Jordan and Robert Kraft picked Bill Belichick over Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And I mean, Jordan didn't go to another team and win, but still, you could have made him happier.
Yeah. Boy, that was some
Uh,
salt in the episode, huh? Salt in the eyes right there, Mr. Fuji.
so we're not going to record next week because I will be in Florida. And actually
Ah.
next week, while we would be recording, I will be at a spring training baseball game.
Very jealous of that.
So I'll send you a picture, Jack. But then we'll be back we'll do our AL East preview and then the big preview, and then it's time. I think we're 3 weeks away. Starts with the Korea series, Padres and Dodgers.
And I gotta say, Tom, exciting news that I have. Your employer
Oh,
has
yeah.
offered me free tickets to the Red Sox home opener. How fun is that?
Yeah, especially after they canned you. And
All right.
um, I've been here for 18 months and I got a crock pot.
Yeah. I get a free lunch. I get tickets to I don't know what it's called anymore. I would call it the Budweiser roof deck. And I get to watch the whole game there.
Are you going with someone from Exactly? Because if they need a representative, I will throw my hat in the ring.
I am going to meet other Exactly customers. It's just a sales thing. It's so one of the people can say, "Hey, by the way, you're already using this. Why don't you get this?"
Yeah. Well, so are you going to miss the game and sit in a room and watch a PowerPoint?
I don't think so.
All right,
If
Jack.
that's
Well,
the itinerary, I will not be on board with that.
I will talk to you in 2 weeks, but probably non-recording wise, like later today.
Sure.
Okay. See you later.
Bye bye.